So I have always had a bit of an issue with the whole blind faith aspect of religion, and I am extremely scientifically minded and always want to know how stuff works and why it works. I have a very high fascination with genetics and physics, which seem to conflict from a scientific standpoint and seem very different from each other, but it's really interesting seeing how much they work together. I've always wanted to know why God would make stuff that might be seen as conflicting science, and had a really large issue with the creation story. And Reasons to Believe, especially Hugh Ross with his book A Matter of Days and Improbable Planet, really helped me clear up those mysteries, and it just helped me become even more enthralled in astrophysics, chemistry, biology, and everything in science. So one of my major issues was with the creation story and how I'd always been taught from a young age that it happened in 7 days. And starting in 5th grade or 6th grade, I started to really question that if it could indeed happen over a long period of time and supported the scientific record. And I came to a conclusion that God could certainly line up everything in creation with the scientific record, but I didn't have any evidence for it, and I was struggling with that. And the lack of hard fact to back up what I knew to be true was really difficult for me to overcome. I think that I was feeling a mixture of frustration and doubt, and I wouldn't say it was frustration or doubt in the religion, it was just doubt in science, which increased my frustration because of how much I loved it. And I didn't want to be the person who totally discredited science because this is what the Bible says and I must take it literally. And I really wanted to be able to see if there was some way to bring the two, both science and religion, together. And then Hugh Ross came and spoke at my church at my sophomore year and talked about the creation story at the service that I went to. And I was shocked and overwhelmed at how close to the truth I actually was, and how accurate my own findings were to what Hugh Ross had found through his intense study throughout his career. So my freshman year, I was discussing with some friends who, a couple of them were atheists, and one of them was Christian, but extremely scientifically minded like I was, and was struggling with the same thoughts that I had, and I didn't feel comfortable with sharing my faith because we were strictly discussing science, and I didn't want to bring religion into the topic, even though I thought that it all worked together magnificently. And so that was really hard for me because it limited what I could talk about, especially because I hadn't done at the time a bunch of research into the sciences that we were talking about. We were talking about the Big Bang Theory and a lot of astrophysics. I came across passages that matched up fairly well with scientific record, and I started thinking about that, and it was starting to click. And then Hugh Ross came and answered all of my questions regarding that, and I was overjoyed because I finally understood and I had a revelation. It was really encouraging that you don't have to be a top scientist or top astrophysicist with an IQ of an insane amount to figure out everything like that. And you can just be reading the Bible and comparing it with scientific record that you've learned in high school even. I would say don't give up. Continue doing your own research. Study both atheist and Christian and any religious scientist, really. Theist, atheist, anything you want. Just study scientific texts of your choosing, because all of science points to a God. Physics, chemistry, biochem, microbiology, it's all there and pointing to a maker. And it's interesting to see all of the different takes on it. And if you realize that everything is pointing to a maker, and you can find all of this magnificent artistry in everything that throughout the physical world that points to a metaphysical world. So don't give up, continue doing your own research, and use the research of others.